Okay, son, you go ahead. Thank you. Let's see here. All right, hey, Tom here. Oh, great. All right. Everybody hear me okay? It says I got a bad connection as usual. Very bad connection, it says now. So if you would let me know if you can hear me okay. You know, it's funny, I want to talk about you know, when I was just thinking about some of the best things that happened to me when I was younger was, and why I think I was able to do so well so young, is that people didn't treat me. People, you know, the people that employed me that had money. I worked at a tourist camp in Northern California where they first discovered gold, and I met Tony Korfman there, and I was probably 15 years old, and a big dude, big old giant guy. He was a pit boss in Vegas, and actually years later I saw him on YouTube. He, you know, I was winning hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's a really good poker player, and I remember him sharing with me over the years. But I met him when I was 15 years old, and this is a guy that just hired me to cut the berry bushes back of his, so he could have a better view of the river, the American River, which was the tourist camp where I worked. But this was a guy, and I'll tell you another one too I met. Anyways, he talked to me like an adult. He saw that I was hungry to make money, and he talked to me like his equal financially. He didn't worry about, you know, not talking to me about big money being made and that sort of thing. He was shared. He was very open. And I think that's the best compliment anybody can pay you. The most amount of respect they can give you is to just treat you like an adult, you know, and not treat you like a baby, treat you like an adult. And it doesn't matter that they're richer than you. It doesn't matter that, you know, they don't worry about, you know, maybe you being envious, or, you know what I mean? I mean, people can sense that anyways, I think. And I think, you know, everybody I've ever looked at that's had more money than me, I just look at them as, hey man, maybe I can do it too, you know, the possibilities. Anyways, so look, it looks like we got a good connection now. Somebody give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know that you can hear me, please. All right. Anyways, so that, loud and clear, man. Thanks, engineer. Appreciate it. So when somebody is sharing with you, and I'll name a couple of people right off the top of my head, then I'll come back around to them. I remember John Brooks telling me, he said, Tommy, when I closed that business, he closed one of his businesses, he said, I had over $1 million in the bank. You know, this is more than 30 years ago. And, you know, other people telling me, you know, yeah, I made $25,000 today, you know, a deal, you know, making a really good deal. And I didn't look at them like, that sucks for me, you know. I'm just like, wow, that's awesome. How'd you do it? You know, and that's the attitude. You got to have a positive attitude. And, you know, don't think it's always the other guy. It's not always the other guy. It's you. It happens to the guys that try, the guys and gals that try. You have to make it happen for yourself. And, you know, really, I think sometimes also being raised poor, being on welfare, that makes you hungrier. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes when you fall into that area of just being comfortable, and I worry about it for my own kids, okay? You know, I got I got a daughter in college, and she's got roommates, and she's complaining about some of them a little bit, and wondering if she could have a place of her own. I'm like, no way, are you crazy? I don't want you to live alone. I don't want you to live alone. I'm not going to pay for it either. But so I'm trying not to spoil her. She's already lucky enough she gets to go to school without having to go to work. And I try to talk to you guys the same way. I try to show you the deals, show you the money being made. You know, I don't worry about, I mean, the idea is to expose you to it, right? There's nothing like exposure to money that really opens your eyes and you realize that it's accessible to you too, right? And, I've talked about the assignments, getting 20 grand, making a deal and finding out, I have $20,000 equity and somebody will buy me out. Told you I made, a few $1 million just on one deal on a piece of land. And I told you, that one I held for a little while, or I've told you about others, that you got to know, once you know that it can happen, the next thing is take action. You have to take action. And that means you got to start doing the work. You got to start doing the work. It's just like, look, you go to, I never went to college, okay? But people go to college and a lot of times they're taking these classes that I still don't understand why you got to take these basic classes that don't make any sense to me. I think it's money for the college, not so much for the students, but they're taking all these basics, and then ultimately they finally get to the good stuff, after a couple of years. Then they get the internship, and then they start getting the real knowledge, right? But they're paying their dues, right? And so when you, and like me, I'm always paying my dues for the deals I get, always. I mean, I knock on, a bunch of doors, and I don't mean I necessarily always knock on a door, but whether it's me writing a letter or stopping, calling on a phone number, most times it doesn't work out. Most times it's not there. But sometimes it is. And sometimes, like it's a small sign. We were talking about that the other day. I need to follow up on that too. Or calling people regularly that have something for sale, or that that they're going to sell it someday, is a great way. That's paying your dues. It's very frustrating. No, I'm not really interested right now. No, I'm not going to sell it right now. No. And then one day you call and they're going, you know what? I think we are going to sell it. How much you give me? Boom. Done. Deal made. Money made. All those phone calls for all those months or sometimes years just paid off. Just paid off. Other times, like the lake house deal, boom, falls in my lap. A couple $100 grand, equity, just like that. That happens. That happens. You look back at some of the deals and some of the other videos. I made $300,000, more than $300,000 in 3 weeks. I bought a property for $140,000. I resold it for $520,000 3 weeks after I bought it. 3 weeks after I bought it, and put a bunch of cash in my pocket. Got a note for $300,000 or $295,000, and got payments for $24.50 a month for years after that. The other deal, the rental. Show you guys how I made $1 million re-renting, taking a property that I just rented out again. That stuff doesn't happen every day. But the more you expose yourself and are out there, the more opportunities you're going to see, the more opportunities you're going to figure out for yourself. And believe me, you're going to find opportunities right there in your area. I mean, it could be on, trash property, it could be on trailers, it could be on anything. And it's all about going forward and making it happen. So, look, let's start our New Year's resolution, right? I want to see you guys make money. I might even mentor some of you, okay? But I got to see effort. I got to see, effort. And you got to demonstrate that you're listening. Demonstrate that you're trying. And, it's like an agent. An agent will say, hey, Tom, I'd sure like to find property for you. Well, the last thing they want to do, if they're listening to me, they know I want to say, they know that I tell them, I say, look, I'm I buy below market only. Don't show me the stuff that's on the MLS unless you have a reason to believe it's going to drop very soon, or you have some inside information. Otherwise, I'm not interested. Or if there's a reason to show me, but if it's already on the MLS and it's been sitting there, don't throw everything at me that's out there that's full price. It's got to be a deal. And if they bring me stuff that's full price, I don't waste any more time with them. I don't even waste my time talking to them anymore. They're not listening. They don't understand what a deal is. I'm talking about the people that I buy from now. Now, likewise, showing you guys. I want good questions. I want, if you say you got something, I'll look at anything. I will. But, you gotta show that you've actually thought it through a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you might find something and that isn't obviously a bad deal for you. And if you show that to me, I'm gonna think, I can't help you. Like I say, I meant the other day, I can't help anybody from the floor, right? Can't help anybody from nothing. You got to have some ambition. You got to show some engagement. And then, man, nobody wants you to make money more than me, except for probably you, right? Okay? And because I take it personally. I'm sitting here spending my time, sharing my life and this stuff. And I enjoy doing it because I'm reliving the excitement through some of you guys that are making things happen. Nothing that, it's really a high for me when somebody says, man, I think I got a deal. Oh, hey, I got it in escrow. Hey, I got it. I flipped it. I made some money. That is exciting to me. It's like seeing my babies take their first steps. It's like, oh yeah, you did it, And so that's what I want to see, and I know some of you at a different level. Some of you already own a home. You bought a home, you did the traditional thing. You bought a home and you've been sitting in it. That's great. That's great. But you know what? You got to have more than one. Buying one home that would be total frustration in my mind. It would drive me crazy. If I was going to buy one home, I'd be buying one home and flipping it, and buying one home and flipping it, because the secret is you got to have more than one. One to live in, one to flip, okay? And ultimately, if the property becomes too valuable and you can rent elsewhere for cheaper, then, sell the one you live in and just start flipping 2 and 3 at a time. If you're starting from zero, if you don't have a lot of money, fine. Easiest thing, go look at local auctions, turn to Craigslist, keep your eyes open for opportunities. Look at equipment that's for sale. A friend of mine recently, there was a big company I think they're out of Korea, building a huge sewer plant in the USA. Well, they had acquired, the big genie lifts and, the big forked ones for like loading up roofs and ones that go up like, 5-10 stories. They'll take like a pallet of plywood and bring it up that high. Well, so he's inquiring about the equipment. He knows they're finishing up the job. Well, now they're done with the job. They don't need any of this equipment anymore. And some of the stuff they bought brand new the year before. But they're finishing up this job. They're not going to take it back to Korea with them. So they said, hey, he says, what, you guys want to sell this stuff? Yeah, make us an offer. They don't even care. He buys about $300,000 or $400,000 worth of equipment for like $60,000. And I mean, $300,000 or $400,000 is what it's worth used. They paid more than $1 million for it. And he buys the stuff for like $60,000. And first thing he does, he sells one piece for like $35,000. And then the other ones, he's actually working back and forth on an Air Force base. He starts leasing some of the same equipment that he has. He just leases it out. They go, he says, hey, we need one of these. He says, yeah, sure. I've got one. Give me, $800 a week. And he starts getting $800 a week on something he paid $5,000 for. You know what I mean? Or less than that even. And you got to start thinking differently. Think in terms of numbers. You don't have to, don't think, oh, I can only buy houses. Oh, I need to buy a duplex. That's what I think everybody tends to usually first think about. Oh, I just want to buy a house, or I want to buy a duplex, live in half, rent out the other half. Sounds good, but you're missing the point. For me, you're missing the point. You're buying based on what it's worth. You want to buy for less than it's worth so you can sell it for close to what it's worth, get your money, and go to another deal. And just turn and turn and turn. And or you can buy something. If you can buy a piece of equipment like my buddy did, and just let it rent, great. He's a very good friend of mine. And the other day he told me, yesterday actually he told me, besides buying a new KTM 500 motorcycle that I think he paid $4 grand for it. He said it's worth about $12 grand. But he bought that for himself, right? See, even he buys his toys. He buys his toys at the right price too. But he told me that another opportunity, big, a certain kind of job he was on, and he said they needed to basically just fill a few holes and pull some debris out. And he said, hey, I'll do it. And they said, well, okay, and he said, man, it's going to be at least $10 grand. They called the boss and he says $10 grand. They said, we can't mess with it. Go ahead and do it. He did it the next day. He was done before 1. He started at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. He was done by 1 o'clock. And he charged him $10,450. He charged the extra $450 because he actually wanted to buy a new exhaust system for his KTM motorcycle. So he made $10 grand. I think he had 2 or 3 guys working for him half a day. And again, this is a guy that's a one-man show on a tractor, and this is a guy that I went to junior high with, and actually before that elementary school, and been friends for many, many years. And he's probably one of the most successful people that I know, other than myself, coming out of that little town that we came out of. And but I share with you honestly, because I want you to be inspired by it, and then I want you to take that inspiration and go make it happen for yourselves. Doing the same thing everybody else does isn't going to work. You can make $200,000 a year, and you're still not going to have $1 million in 10 years. You're right? It's just not going to happen. You have to buy stuff, make your profit, turn it, and then leverage it. Then you can start leveraging like I do, a little leverage, a little more, and buy it right and leverage, and you'll get there so much quicker. You'll get there so much quicker, and you'll have so much more fun doing it. You'll have so much more fun doing it. And so that's what I hope for you guys. So does anybody got any questions? Anybody want to talk about anything? It's open mic, so any question, don't be shy, don't ask. Yeah, you can even ask questions that maybe you don't feel are very good ones tonight, okay? I don't want anybody to get quiet just because of what I put on the restrictions. The main thing is just make it happen, and I don't know how else to help you get there other than to tell you, start digging in, start looking at things. Just look at everything as like numbers, making money, right? When you look at something, when somebody says they bought something, say, really, what'd you pay for that? And think about it. Just think about it, and start, just kind of be like a little human calculator, looking at things, wondering, hey, what's that worth? What's that worth? Actually, that's actually a great exercise. Just finding out what things are worth that interest you, okay? Because if it interests you, it interests you. That's a good thing. It's going to draw you to it a little bit already. B, you start knowing the values of those things. That's information. That's the data that you need to make money on those things. Do you use any real estate software? Yes, well, I do. I'll tell you what. I actually hired a real estate guy. I'm sorry, not a real estate guy. I hired a software writer 30 years ago. This is when computers were really, really rough and very expensive and not very powerful. And what it would do is I would upload the data from the county assessor on real estate, and then I would go back through and I would sift through it, and I would grab the non-owner occupied or homesteaded properties, and I could also get the dates of when they were purchased. And I did it a lot of different ways. I did it by researching microfiche in some areas and cities, and then other ones I found a way to get the data, rough data, online, and then I had this guy make me a program that would basically would just parse the information out the way that I wanted, and then all that's changed, and now it's easier than ever to do it. In fact, so when you say real estate software, I can tell you one thing I do like also is I use it on my rentals. What's it called? Rent Tech Direct. I'm giving them a plug here. They actually wanted me to promote their stuff to make some money, and who knows, maybe I will someday. But Rent Tech Direct is, man, it's good. It's I bought the property managers, like they have different levels, like small users, and then somebody that actually would manage a lot of property. I bought the property managers because I have so much property, and it's great software, and it's improved since I first bought it. I don't even use it to its full potential, but that's stuff how I manage all my leases. If I write a lease, I scan it, it goes in to the archives. When I renew it, I'll pull the lease back out, we'll reinitial it and change the date, or I'll just create an addendum to the lease. But everything's paperless. I have everything digitally written, in digital PDFs. We do digital signatures. I sign most of my leases. I sign on my iPhone, believe it or not, and I'll have people sign extensions right on my iPhone too. But that may not be the kind of real estate software you're thinking of, but yeah, that's what I use right now. Other than that, there's a lot of options for pulling data off of on properties that you can pay for. You can pay for it by the property. The one's called Property Shark. I actually played with that a little bit. I thought it was kind of neat, actually. I believe it was called Property Shark, and I just quickly got the information on one particular property that I wanted, and I was actually impressed. It was actually better than I had thought it would be. So I just want to tell you, start thinking about everything in terms of numbers. Just kind of put numbers to everything. I think it's just good to do the math on somebody says they get a deal and they got it under market. Oh, you use Property Shark. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's one actually I only learned about probably, I don't know, several months ago, and so I thought that was pretty good. In fact, I need to go take a look at it again. I actually had I've used local services in some local counties where you could get it for one or two counties nearby, and some of them were kind of clumsy, but bottom line, I could get the information that I needed. And I used to create my own databases. In fact, I used to have books, where I would print out, I would send out maybe 500, 600 or 1,000, 2,000 letters sometimes, and then when the people called back, I would just go right to their name and write down their phone number. Since they called me, now I had their phone number. I write down their phone number. This is before email, and I would just write a note about our conversation, and talk about what I offered them, what they responded, and I liked having that book there. Now probably I would just stick mostly to. I do almost everything on an iPhone now, almost everything. And you guys are gonna love the app. When you see the app that I give you, you're gonna really be thrilled. It's cool. It's very cool. You're gonna be able to make money with it too. And so, what a great way to start off the new year, right? You're gonna have my app. You're gonna have me to lean on and talk to. And man, if you really put effort, I'll give you some personal mentoring too. I just want to see some millionaires come out of this. It frustrates me a little bit. I know I got 13 or 14, roughly 1,300 and something followers or subscribers, and only about 10% of them watch, it seems. And I just think, oh my gosh, and I see some people out there that claim to know how to do what they're doing and showing people, and I don't see it. Some of them I'm looking at them thinking, nah, you ain't got my experience, but they're doing something right? They're doing something right. And so I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing wrong, where I'm not connecting, or maybe I just expected too much. Maybe the growth happens slower than I should expect. But either way, I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and but I want to see you guys make some money. I just want to see you make some money. So anyways, I think I'll kill it here. I'm getting tired. I got to get up early and make some rounds tomorrow. I've actually got a few empties. I mentioned the other day I got more empties than I want right now, and I got to make sure these units get filled back up again. And it's easy. You know, it can be a few thousand to turn to 10,000, 15. Pretty soon you got maybe 30,000 a month not coming in. Let's see. Will your app help me find owners of vacant home? Man, I'm not going to tell you everything right now, but it will definitely help you. I promise you that. In fact, I'll be looking for your feedback, right? Because we'll make it even better. If it needs something, we'll make it better, no problem. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for hanging out and asking questions. And, you know, be sure to get the app or share it with people. If you're just watching for the first time, go to write Tom at FlipAnythingUSA, Tom at FlipAnythingUSA.com, and you know, I'll send you a copy of the free app or tell you where to download it when I make it available. They're done. We're just kind of doing some final stuff, but they work. Everything's cool, Android and iPhone, and it's just free. It's free. I don't care who uses it. I mean, I want everybody to have it. And be sure to share it out. You know, anybody that's trying to make money, I don't care if they watch me or watch somebody else, they should have the app. It's going to help them. So that's it. Flip Anything USA. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share, subscribe, and please like. That always helps too. Have a good night.